Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Kakadash. The born to the apostles, Nels Great Millstone, 4 teachings says true peace and blessings to the whole like Israel. Yahweh is the name of then for all the Hebrew. Ba'Shem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on the lesson, and today, pretty much when you go into another MOTB update, as you can see right here within this background, you see either this being Disney World or Disneyland, but you see how they're pretty much requiring your fingerprint as well. I believe this dude has a wristband or a watch, whatever the case may be, to tap the Mickey Mouse symbol, which you see right there, to be able to access the parks, which I believe this has been around for a good minute now. But just further goes to show the direction that these devils are heading. As you've seen various steps being taken towards the implementation of this beast system, how everything's moving towards a digitized system. You're seeing more self-checkout aisles being implemented within supermarket stores. A lot of these venues are now no longer accepting cash. You're seeing various apps like Amazon One where you're able to pay with the palm of your hand. So you're pretty much seeing how the physical is being, done away with. As y'all seen with the 6G, now being pushed, and one of the main things that was listed that they're going to be pushing is implantable, technologies, or however they will, said it within that article. That main point going to the implantable, devices they're going to be pushing out, which is going to be this RFID chip. So as you've seen right here, just going back to that point, dealing with the restriction in place to where you need to have your fingerprint scan, you need to have this wristband to be able to access these parks and different rides. Well, soon it's going to come to where you need to have that RFID chip, that MOTB, to be able to access, supermarket stores, to buy things, to travel and go places. They'll be holding checkpoints. You're going to have that charagma to be able to bypass, the checkpoint, as the case may be, But I don't play this quick video right here. I probably just play, around 30 seconds because it goes into a lot of other things within this video, but this is the main point I was wanting to get out of it.
You know that Disney parks now require you to give your fingerprint to gain access to their parks? Yeah, sure, it's to prevent ticket fraud and definitely not for nefarious reasons. I'm sure the company with the 666 in their logo.
And he goes to a bunch of, so-called, conspiracy theories. We'll see what more he has to say. Let's get a little bit more into it.
Have nefarious undertones. Well, have you ever flipped Mickey upside down? It's pretty interesting, wouldn't you say? But it's just harmless. You're just submitting your fingerprint. It's not like they're putting a chip in you or anything. Well, have you ever heard of social conditioning? The process where society shapes our...
There you go. That's also another good point. How they're conditioning and preparing you for this charagma, getting you used to these things. Which is like Amazon One. Able to buy and pay things with the palm of your hand. As seen in this case right here, we're requiring your fingerprint. That wristband is needed. Matter of fact, it took both of them right there. So you see ultimately, the direction that this is heading, if you have the eyes to see. And sure, this is at an amusement park. But imagine when this is now required at your job. When this is required to leave your state, your city, to travel, to pay and buy things.
Behaviors, values, and norms, and well, it shapes them so much that they're ingrained responses without even conscious thought. So it's kind of like they're normalizing giving your fingerprint. I wonder why. I wonder what they're working towards. Maybe they're desensitizing you to one thing, so when they step up another notch, like forcing chip implants into your hand to gain access to credit cards, payments, all sorts of things, maybe even tracking you more than your phone does. Because you can put your phone away and leave it But if you're implanted, they are always going to know where you are. But don't you worry, they're generally safe. No major.
But hey, there you go. That's the point. To get these scriptures at hand should be too big of a lesson. It is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. And it says, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are ignorant of his devices. We see ultimately what this devil is planning, what he's trying to do. As we can also get in other translations, it says, so Satan, NLT, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. We see what is at play. What this is ultimately leading up towards is the various steps being taken. Which I believe that now at schools, they require I believe the children to have school IDs pretty much. I believe I listened a while back where there was lockers where you needed to scan something to pretty much open the locker. I forget exactly what it was, but you saw that. Stores are now, locking doors to where if you want to access it, you need to, show and scan your ID to open that door. I mean, Costco, I believe if that's the correct store, but where they pretty much require a membership or have a membership program, to if you want to be able to enter that store, you need to show that ID, that membership, which now I believe that has been moved to digital. So it's crystal clear the times that we are in. See what the GNT has to say. So in order to keep Satan from getting the upper hand over us, we know what his plans are. And we are warning you to the spirit power of Yahweh Bashim Shah of the things to come, the things the devil's getting ready to come down with. This MOTB especially being one of the things he's getting ready to heavily push out, as you've seen with this more than 6G, government, and how they're going to be, pushing these things heavily. As people, mocked and scoffed at us, called us crazy that they weren't going to push this, they weren't going to mandate this. Well, look who is at the forefront. Just want to reference in that article. Now, the Revelation 13:16-17, it says, and he called those small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That word mark in the Greek is the word charagma, etch, scratch, showing a physical mark. And it also says, or in their foreheads, which you all see Elon Musk creating the Neuralink, which is the mark in the forehead. Verse 17, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Very soon you won't be able to buy nor sell without it. You won't be able to live a so-called normal life without it. This is why you're going to have all these Israelites end up cracking, under that pressure and giving in, taking this MOTB. As you saw back in the year 2020 when those lockdowns were in place, people were wanting to go out and party and, live their so-called normal life once again. But that came at a price, which required you to have and take that concoction, that juice. They especially required that, certain jobs. And you had a lot of these unfaithful Israelites end up cracking under that pressure and taking that. Matter of fact, some of them, promoted it, pushed it. I do what you gotta do, brothers. What do you do when the MOTB is implemented and pushed out? You already failed the pop quiz. That was gonna be a trial and a test of what the devil's getting ready to do. So if you crack then, you're more than likely gonna crack now. Now, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. And it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, going to draconian speak fast like it. Going to these draconian like laws. That word draconian goes to strict, severe, super, serious. So going to these unrighteous decrees once again to where I made the point earlier where it's going to pretty much be required for everything. You need to have that MOTB. And they're most definitely make to work. If you want to access the internet, you need to have that thing. And you see how people get when they're without their phone, when they're without internet. This is why you get within the descriptions, Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. How we're not to be conformed to this world. Attached to his place in these things. Because these are things the devil is most definitely getting ready to do. So it's that. It's got a couple more. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. And it says, fear none of the things thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast you into prison, that ye may be tried. And you have tribulation 10 days, so going to a certain period of time, but going to show the affliction, the adversities, and the hate that we're going to receive for not wanting to take this charagma, for not wanting to bow down to this beast system. When you saw little examples back in 2020. People that didn't take the concoction, the juice, that didn't want to wear masks, were ostracized, looked upon as weird, selfish, and all sorts of things. You got people pushing for, those that want to take these things and get with the so-called program to be fined, to be jailed. So just further examples of the times to come, what the devil's ready to do. But that you may be tried, you have tribulation 10 days, be thou faithful unto death, now give thee crown of life. So there is a reward and a prize waiting for us. Habakkuk 2 and 3. I got one more scripture after that. And it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end shall speak and not lie, that would tarry, wait for it, speaking surely kill it will not tarry, meaning it will not delay. These things will happen and will come to pass, and we're in those appointed times as written and spoken within the scriptures. That's Romans 13:11. It says that knowing the time now is high time to wake out of sleep, not physically but spiritually. Wake up, repent, open your eyes. The Lord is making things clear. But you see Jake Tyson letting that alarm, that warning being sounded. And I always like to make the point to where if you leave your alarm on your phone on for so long, it will pretty much silence itself. As soon these warnings are being sent out via the prophets, do spend Prophet Yahweh Shai will no longer be blowing that trumpet. These warnings will no longer be sent out. And as for now, our salvation nearer than we believe. It's closer than we think, man. Especially just all the things happening, taking place. It's crystal clear we are at the end stages of this movie. And this being Yahweh Bashem Shai's movie, and this being the script. And we're giving you spoilers as to what's getting ready to unfold and take place. But the point was made. Just quick lesson going to that video of what was pretty much required over that these Disneyland or Disney World, because maybe both of them. Of what's required dealing with that, as well as the various other things that you see. Not just that right there. So you can see the steps that are being taken, and ultimately what direction this is heading towards. The implementation of that charagma. So those are the lessons edify and do close out. Give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Bashmel Shabashim Kakadash and Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.